Good afternoon and welcome to Brunswick Zone Lakeside, just outside St. Louis, Missouri. We have today the Stepladder Finals for the BestBowling.com Youth Tournament. It is Saturday, November the 4th. On lanes 5 and 6, we have the opening match for our handicap division, featuring Kyle Feldab going against Ethan Klein. Kyle qualified today with a score of 783 scratch, which was good for 998 after handicap. In the 4th position, Ethan, now stepping up on lane 6, is our number 5 seed. Qualified with a scratch score of 700. With his handicap, that was a 995 score. Kyle's league average is a 156. Ethan is at 136. Handicap was 80% of 210 for today, so Kyle will be spotting Ethan 16 pins in this match. And then over on lanes 7 and 8, we have our opening match for our scratch division, featuring 4 and 5 seeds, Skylar DeClue and Tony Resnick. Skylar and Tony tied at -80. And the tiebreaker was decided at Skylar because of his higher qualifying game. Prize fund for today on the handicap division will be paying the top 2 spots. First place will receive a $200 gift card to BestBowling.com. Second place, a $100 gift card to BestBowling.com. On the scratch side, we have 4 gift cards that we will be awarding. And again, gift cards were based on entries in your division. It's a hard 1 in 4 payout. On the scratch, we're giving away a $200 gift card to first, a $140 gift card to second, $100 gift card to third, and a $50 gift card to fourth. I'm now being joined by our tournament director and my co-host for today's broadcast, Jordan Richard.
Good buddy.
Jordan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Brunswick Zone Lakeside and the events that took place here today?
I've always wanted to run a tournament here for the longest time. I did one a couple years ago and didn't really get a big turnout. I had like 12 bowlers, so I was a little worried, but being able to do it now and actually setting my feet for how many tournaments I ran through the year, I thought it'd be a good idea to come back. Little fun fact, I've ran probably around 15 to 20 tournaments since I started, so I don't know how many years, 3 or 4 years. I've had one 300 game from this house. James Niz Walker. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's a good turnout. I liked it, 30 bowlers. Other than that.
Do we have any special sponsors we want to thank today?
Yeah, we had a few. Lakeside is actually donating $500 to the scholarship fund, and Patrick Murphy, a friend of mine who runs his own drywall business, he actually is going to donate $100 for it. So we're doing each game, the first 5 games was a high game pot of $60. Oh, nice pickup. With a $60 high game pot for each division. So actually, you're going to see him in a bit. Josiah Youngblood actually had 2 high game pots, so he got to bring home $120 on a $35 entry. So before even Stepladder, he already cashed and was well above the line. Well above had 1. I think Skylar was close to 1. There's Barrett Nabo. You'll see him later. He had 1. It was pretty neat.
We also have to have special thanks for Ebonite International and BestBowling.com for supporting us.
So Mr. Stitcher as well.
Mr. Stitcher as well for providing the Letterman jackets to our champions.
The champions are going to get Letterman jackets. Erin Williams won the last event. She got hers today. Dean Mudlock was unfortunate to make it because of a college tournament, so he ended up getting one earlier. So we'll see how it goes. We actually have previous champions bowling now. Kyle won the very first Best Bowling event, and then Caleb House won the same location at Imperial Bowl.
So let's check in on our scores over here. On the handicap side, we have Kyle Feldab going against Ethan Klein. And the handicap spread for this game is 16 pins.
Who's up? Who's down?
Ethan's getting plus 16. We have Kyle with a score of 55 in the 3rd, working off a strike in the 4th. Ethan with a little bit of a slow start there in the 1st with the open frame, but he's rebounded very nicely with the turkey. Kyle with a tough break there, 4-9 on lane 5. And then over here on our scratch match, it is Skylar versus Tony. And we've got Tony with a couple of spares up, 17 in the first. Skylar having issues with single pin spares after starting with a strike. He's now missed 2 single pin spares and has a score of 37 in the third. 37 in the third. This puts Tony in a position with a strike here in the third. He'll hold a 20-pin lead. Now checking back in on the handicap match. Kyle, valiant effort there on the 4-9, getting one of them. Ethan stepping up on lane 6, working on turkey. And doesn't quite break up the 5-7 split down there. And Tony through the nose with the 3-6-9-10 on lane 8.
Tony's pretty familiar with this format. He actually was the runner-up to our last event against Dean Budwine.
That was over at St. Charles Lanes in September, correct, Jordan?
Yep. And we'll be at a different location. Have yet to run a tournament there. It would be at Sunset Lanes with RJ Davis and his crew. We're going to do a doubles format. I'm very excited because it's going to be at over under 190. So some people who don't know what that means is those who have a 190 average, so the scratch bowlers here to your right, has to ask the handicap division bowlers, the one in the 189 and below, to bowl. Yes, that means you will include your handicap with them. So whoever you choose, wisely, because they do get handicapped.
Big spare by Tony Resnick there in the third frame. Big spare there, picking up the 3-6-9-10 in the third. Attempting to protect his lead. And Ethan with back-to-back opens in the 5th and 6th. Tony crossing over Brooklyn there on our scratch pair. Currently holds a 16-pin lead as we head to the 4th frame on that match. And Kyle now with a 4-pin on lane 6. Ball's finishing just a little high for him. Skylar DeClue with great form. Excellent shot there with the light swishing strike on lane 8. Currently trails by 16, but with a strike here in the 5th frame on lane 7, he will have the opportunity to cut that lead down to 6. Kyle picks up the 4-pin on lane 6 and is now heading for lane 5. And with a strike here, he will cut into Ethan's lead. Skylar going for a double. And look at that, tripping out the 6-8. Great pin action there on lane 7. Great pin action. Kyle carrying the Brooklyn. He's not pleased with the shot, but he'll take the result.
My first shot.
Skylar with that double lessens Tony's lead down to 6 pins, but Tony with the opportunity to take it right back to 16 with a strike here on lane 8. Ethan Klein with his 4th strike in the first 7 frames. Kid got word he made the Stepladder finals and has caught fire. Remember, the handicap gap on this match between Ethan and Kyle is Ethan plus 16 pins. So he is currently in possession of an 11-pin lead. Just a hair outside on that one. He's got a very difficult 2-7-8 split to shoot. Checking back in on our scratch match on 7 and 8. Tony Resnick came in a little light, left the 2-pin. Currently still holds a 6-pin lead in the match. However, with Skylar working on that double, he'll have the opportunity to get back up on lane 8 here in a minute and build on and take away that lead. Ethan with a little bit of trouble shooting the split. Kyle Felbab. Oh, made the perfect adjustment after leaving the 4-pin the last frame on that lane, reigning 10-pin.
Yeah, he came up to me. I actually coached Kyle in Junior Travel League, and he ended up being 90 pins over average in Travel League. And he was telling me, he's like, I feel like I could have done better. I'm like, yeah, you could have. He was like, what do I need to do? Work on spares. So he told me before the tournament, all he did was spares. And he's like, well, I just want to make the cut again. I go, I know what to do. Speaking of spares, and bang.
Nails that 10-pin. Now checking in with a score of 123 in the 7th, spare up in the 8th frame. And we have ourselves quite a tight match here. It's 5 and 6 in our opening round of the handicap stepladder. Tony Resnick absolutely got hosed on that shot on lane 7, the Swisher 7-pin.
Oh, Maverick.
And single pin spares proving to be problematic over here in our scratch match. Third one we've seen missed already this game. Skylar DeClue now getting up on lane 8, working on a double opportunity to really put the lockjaws on Tony in this match. Kyle with another 10-pin on lane 5. This one not to be as the previous one was. Flush City on lane 8 for Skylar, giving him a turkey now. Ethan now going to have an opportunity to shoot the 6-pin on lane 6. Skylar going for 4 in a row on lane 7. Light hit, leaves the 10-pin. Ethan going for the spare, picks it up. Finds himself in a position where he holds a 7-pin lead heading for the 10th frame. That is our 4th missed single pin spare on the scratch side. And with that open frame, Tony Resnick will approach lane 8 to bowl his 7th frame and finds himself only trailing by 3 pins. Checking back in over here as we're in the 10th frame of our handicap stepladder match. Ethan with a huge strike to start the 10th frame. Still leading by only 7. And pulls this one a little bit to the left. Takes the 3 off the left. So let's run some numbers here. If Ethan were to make the spare, you'll have a score of 162 scratch with the 16-pin handicap that he is being spotted in this game. That checks him in with a score of 178. Kyle will need a double to win the match. No, we're not going to make the spare. Alright, so Ethan finishing with a great game of 159 scratch with the handicap difference. This gives him a score of 175. Kyle Felbab will need a double and low count to win the match. 2 strikes and low count for the win. Shots off, looks good, and the ball just doesn't drive through the rack. He's left with the 5-10 split, and that's going to do it. Ethan again with a score of 175 with his handicap. Kyle, if he were to pick the split and strike, will have a score of 171. So Ethan Klein will be moving on to the second match in our stepladder on the handicap division. And now the question has to be asked about that 10-pin in the 9th frame for Kyle. So many times we talk about single pin spares. Tony Resnick with the swish shot on lane 7. Now with a score of 121 in the 7th, strike up in the 8th. Skylar DeClue with a 3-pin lead as he heads for the 8th frame. Alright, so again, just to recap, our final score on the handicap is Ethan 175, Kyle 159. Skylar missed his mark a little bit to the left on that one, now has to shoot the fence on lane 8. And with the spare, now heading for the 9th frame, he's got a 3-pin lead. You know he's got to be asking himself, though, about how different this game would look if he just made those single-pin spares. Huge strike in the foundation frame to set up. Tony Resnick on a strike, gets up on lane 8 for his 9th frame with the opportunity to take the lead. Currently trailing by 3. Tony feeling the pressure of the moment, taking his time to set up the shot. And just a tad inside of mark, leaves the 4-pin. So that's going to send him to the 10th frame, trailing by 3. With Skylar on a strike, that's essentially another 10-pin edge to Skylar. He's going to have to make this spare, and he's going to need some help. Just barely makes the 4-pin, which keeps him in this match. That saves him from elimination as he heads for the 10th frame. So now we bowling the 10th with still a shot here in this game. So let's look at some numbers here. Tony, if he strikes out, will shoot 191. Skylar currently going at a 184 pace. Just far from over here as we head for the 10th. And gets the light mixing strike. He'll need one more to force Skylar to mark in the 10th frame. One more will force Skylar to mark. One more with great count will force Skylar to possibly have to strike. The shaker 2-pin. Picks the spare, that gives him a score of 181. All right, Tony with the shot off. Again, another missed single pin spare. That's the 5th one we've seen miss this game on just the scratch side of the bracket.
Throw jabs at him, man.
We're going to finish with a score of 180. Skylar DeClue will just need a mark and 7 pins filled. Strike will lock it up right now. Spare and 7 will also win the game. There's a strike. That will secure victory. Just needs to stay behind the foul line, keep the ball in the lane here on these next 2 shots.
Who they meet? When you run into
So in the scratch division, that's what Blue advancing. He's going to face Matt Harper next match. And on the handicap side, it's going to be Ethan Klein going against Ramon Foltz. We'll have the final score for you here momentarily on our scratch side. Again, just recapping. Handicap division, Ethan Klein over Kyle Feldab, 175 to 159. And here in the scratch division, as Skylar throws his fill shot, he has defeated Tony Resnick, who had a score of 180, with a final score of 204 with the Brooklyn strike on the fill. 204 to 180 for the scratch. We're going to take a brief commercial break and be back with our second match in our Stepladder Championships. Back at Brunswick Zone Lakeside. We're going to be joining in action the second match of our Stepladder Finals here at the BestBowling.com Youth Tournament. It is Saturday, November the 4th. In the second match here on lanes 7 and 8, we have, in the handicap division, Ethan Klein going against Ramon Foltz. Ramon Foltz was our number 3 qualifier today, qualified with a score of +4. Ramon joins us with a 172 average. Ethan Klein, who won our first game, 176 to 159 over Kyle Feldab, is going to be having a 29-pin handicap advantage this match against Ramon. And over on lanes 5 and 6, in our scratch division, we have the winner of the first game, Skylar DeClue, going against Matthew Harper. And an interesting note, I've just been informed, Matthew Harper is joining us from
Kansas City, right? Springfield?
Springfield.
I lied. You're going to Kansas City. I'm going to Kansas City. From Springfield. I lied. Chance?
Now, Jordan, you want to tell us a little bit about our format here for the Stepladder Final? As I'm sure some people are noticing that the handicap and scratch division have switched pairs.
Yes, I heard that was your favorite part, too. You absolutely love it.
It is an interesting twist, I must admit.
I like to be different. To me personally, I think you should change lanes. The reason why is because one person get locked in and they're locked in for the rest of the day. You're here to make it difficult. You're here to make it a little different, strong, harder. You don't want to turn it into a house shot. You don't want a bowler to camp is what I'm basically trying to say. Yeah, it's top 5, move on each division no matter what. Top 2 will be making money in the handicap division and top 4 in the scratch. So right now, the scratch division, they're about $100. 4th place will take 5th, and 4th place will take $50. But yeah, other than that, I missed anything besides mumbling and stumbling.
Well, we've all been there on live TV before. Matthew Harper was our number 3 seed in the scratch bracket. He came in with a qualifying score of -67 for today, as Skylar was going after the washout there on lane 5 in his 4th frame. So let's check in on the scores. What do we have going on here? Ethan has a score of 50 in the 4th, going against
You're good.
Ramon Foltz. And Ramon going after the 10 pin. And that's going to be a miss. He now has a score of 97 in the 5th. And again, Ethan has that 29 pin handicap advantage for the game. With that strike, he has put himself back into this game. Matthew now going to have to shoot the 6-10 on lane 6. He's off to a bit of a rocky start here. A couple of opens here in his first 3 frames. There's a spare for the 4th frame. Finds himself down by 23 as he heads for the 5th frame. And Ethan breaking up the split, leaves the shaker 7. With the spare conversion, he'll hold a 2-pin lead as Ramon will be getting up to bowl his 6th frame on lane 8 here momentarily. Great shot by Matthew Harper there on lane 5. Keeps the deficit at only 23 pins as Skylar DeClue now gets up on lane 6 to bowl his 5th frame. Ramon gets a shot off on lane 8 and he slashes out the 4-pin on the mixer hit. Currently holding a 10-pin lead in his match, accounting for the 29-pin handicap in our handicap match on 7 and 8. Skylar DeClue misses the 3-pin on lane 6. Been having some issues with single pin spares today, but his strike ball has been able to bail him out so far today. Gonna have to see what happens moving forward though. And Ramon just a little bit wide right there on lane 7, leaving the very interesting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. Skylar rebounding with the strike there on lane 5. Finds himself finds himself with a 12-pin lead. However, with Matthew working on the strike, he has the opportunity to bring that down to a 2-pin lead through 6. And Ramon, a little wide again, leaves a 2-pin down there. Have a very, very tight match here in our handicap division match on lanes 7 and 8. Through the nose, 3-6-10 on 6. Ethan, a little wide with that toss. Got 5 down the first ball. He's got a difficult spare to shoot at here. And he chops the 3-6-10. So through 7 frames, Ethan has a score with his handicap of 113. Ramon is at 125. So Ramon with a 12-pin lead through 7 in our handicap match. And just as he chopped the 3-6-10 on 6, he's going to get another crack out of here. 3-6-10 on lane 5. Huge rebound strike there on lane 7 for Ethan, keeping him in the match. And chops the 3-6-10 again. Now the score of 93 through 7. Skylar's sitting on a 36-pin lead as he heads for his 7th frame now. And through the nose. 4-10 split on lane 6. Not getting the count on the split. Now with 1:15 through 7, his lead is down to 22 through 7 frames. Ramon up through the nose. He's going to shoot the 3-6-10 now after getting the spare in the 8th frame. Foundation 9th, looking for the spare. Crosses over for the Brooklyn strike as Matthew Harper looks like he's going for a ball change. Heading over to lane 6, he's making the ball change. Finds himself currently trailing by 22. And this one doesn't quite make it back, leaves a shaker 2 pin on 6. Ethan getting up on lane 8, following a strike from the 7th. Solid hit, leaves the 5 pin. With Ramon missing the spare there on the 9th, this match is not over on lane 7 and 8. Checking back in on our scratch match on lanes 5 and 6. Matthew with the spare. Finds himself trailing by 22 as he gets up to bowl his 9th frame on lane 5. The match is not over yet, but he's going to need some help. Going to have to get a strike here on the 9th to set up that 10th frame for moving forward. Ethan with a huge spare makes that 5 pin. And now finds himself in position. Have a shot here in the 10th. Again, Ethan has a spread of plus 29 for this game. And he crosses over, leaves a 3-6-9. And with that 7 count, the game is all square. Tie game. We have a tie game in the 10th frame. Ethan with the spare attempt, makes the spare. Gonna be getting up to bowl his fill shot. Had a little mechanical issue there on 5 and 6. Happy with a solid 10 here for his 9th frame. And Ethan, good count, 8 count there. This gives him a score of 168 with his handicap. Ramon will need to fill 19 pins to win the match. And he's through the nose with the 6-10. He's going to have to make the spare and get 9 pins to win. Skylar on the strike. Double up. Lead is now 2 in the 10th. And Ramon makes the spare. Needs 9 pins for the win. Stepladder needs just 9 pins to lock up the match. Flush City, 10 on the pit. That strike secures victory here on our second match on the scratch side. And that's 9. Ramon gets exactly enough. Wins the match by 1 pin. 169 to 168 is our final score for our handicap second match. Again, that is Ramon with the win, 169 to Ethan's 168. As we're finishing up, we'll get the final scores here for you for the scratch side when we go to start the next match. Again, Skylar DeClue is your victor in Game 2 for the scratch stepladder final. And we're going to be back here in just a little bit. Going to take a short commercial break as we get ready to start our third game of our stepladder finals. And again, that is Ramon Foltz over Ethan Klein, 169 to 168. Skylar DeClue has finished his match on the scratch side with a 192. Back at Brunswick Zone Lakeside for our semifinal match. On lanes 5 and 6 for the handicap division, we have our number 2 seed, Barrett Navo, who qualified with a score of +8, taking on Ramon Foltz, who won our previous match. Barrett's coming in with a handicap of +35 against Ramon here for this match. And on lanes 7 and 8, we have our semifinals for the scratch division. Skylar DeClue going against Josiah Youngblood, who's our number 2 seed.
Josiah Youngblood.
Qualifying with a score of -54. Tournament Director Jordan Richard here.
What's up? How are you?
Very well. Yourself, Jordan? How's everything going today?
Going alright. Going alright. Just watching some bowling.
What can you tell us about our 4 combatants that we have out here for our semifinals?
I've actually watched most of these guys grow up. The only ones I'm not familiar with is Ramon and like that job, but he got away with it. And Barrett. Barrett's actually, this is his very, very first bowling tournament ever. Like, very first. And he was very confused on how stepladders work because he's never done that before. But so that's why he's a little bit nervous. He's a different format. It's kind of new. Ramon I've watched grown up in the high school tournaments, just watching him around bowling for Battle High School. He's from Columbia, Missouri. You have Skylar DeClue from Potosi, actually farther past Potosi. He drives about 2 hours just to bowl these tournaments. And then Josiah Youngblood, I know his dad, I know his family's a bowling family. It's fun to watch them to grow up in bowl tournaments. I'm really glad that he came out and bowled. But you got people who are waiting for the championship round would be Paige Schneider and Caleb House. Caleb House won the last tournament at Imperial Bowl. Pretty much it.
We haven't yet discussed it today, but what lane condition are we bowling on today?
Oh yeah, we're actually bowling on Athens. We're bowling on WTBA Athens pattern. I picked this pattern because it played fair. It was tough. It was very, very tough. I had actually special thanks for Danny Spink coming in. He actually got to come out and help coach the kids and help them out a little bit. Sam Robinson bowled this tournament. He struggled a little bit, but Danny kind of helped him out the last game and a half just to get him lined in. And now he knows on the midline and a shot like this at this location, He's going to have to play a little bit more tighter down lane instead of swinging it out. Athens is difficult. A couple of years ago, I ran a tournament here, and the scores were pretty much the same. So I wanted to see that again. Your thing wasn't really in play. You had to play a tight line. You couldn't swing it out as much as you want to, like a typical house shot. It just played like how I expected.
Check in on the scores. Over here on lanes 7 and 8 for our scratch match. Josiah getting ready to shoot the 6-pin on lane 8. Presently holds a 34-pin lead. And on 5 and 6 in our handicap match, Ramon has a score of 79 in the 4th, spare up in the 5th. As Barrett 35-pin edge to start the game is trailing by 10 pins as we are through the 5th frame. And Josiah with the trip 6 there on lane 7.
Hey, I bet you a lefty wins on the scratch match.
Seeing how we have 2 lefties going, Jordan, I think that's a safe bet.
I think a righty's going to win on the handicap match.
You think Vegas will give you any odds on that?
I win.
Skylar DeClue now with a double for his 5th and 6th frame. Finds himself trailing by only 24 now. As Barrett gets up to shoot the spare on lane 5. Skylar had a few open frames here to start the match. He's dug himself a bit of a hole. Solid 7.
Just me.
You could argue that one hurt his feelings. That 7 definitely hurt his feelings. As we were saying earlier today, Skylar's been having a little bit of an issue with the single pin spares today. We'll see what he does with this one. Nailed that one dead center. Finds himself trailing by 25 as we hit the 7th frame in our scratch semifinal match. And Ramon with the ever-challenging 3-6-9-10 on 6, chops the 3-9 off of it. And we have ourselves a really close match again here on 5 and 6 for our handicap semifinals. Again, we're coming to you from the Brunswick Zone Lakeside. This is the BestBowling.com youth tournament for November. It's November 4th, 2017. And with the double pinochle now on lane 5, the handicap semifinal match has taken on an entirely different look now as we head for the 7th and 8th frames. Josiah with the spare on lane 8, protecting his 25-pin lead as he heads to lane 7. And we're going to get a score change over there on lane 5.
Barrett's thumb just blown open. He's barely hanging on.
We've just been informed that Barrett, who's bowling on lane 6 now, is battling through a hand injury right now. You couldn't tell from that shot, though.
Maybe your thumb should have blown open a little bit earlier. And maybe your thumb should have hurt a long time ago.
And you can see him shaking his hand. It's definitely bothering him a little bit. Josiah up to shoot the 4-7 on 7. Lead is at 23 as Skylar gets up on lane 8. Barrett leaves the 5-10 split on lane 5. And despite the open frame here in the 8th frame, Barrett is currently in possession of a 5-pin lead in this match. Again, on 5 and 6 is our handicap final semifinal, and Barrett has a spread of plus 35 for the match. Ramon gets up on 6, and a 7-10 split. You can't throw it much better than that when you need it. Does all he can do with that, taking 1. And as we're getting ready to settle in for the 9th and 10th frame for a very exciting finish here to our handicap semifinal, Barrett Nova, who's bowling in his first ever junior bowling tournament, holds a 5-pin lead. Let's check back in over here on the scratch match. Skylar DeClue going to shoot the 2-4-5 here on lane 7. And Skylar's in a little bit of trouble here as he finds himself trailing.
Oh, a little bit of motion.
By 27 pins. Ramon with a huge strike in the 9th frame to set up his foundation. And Skylar chops the 2-4-5. Best Skylar's going to be able to shoot this game is going to be 167. Josiah gets up to bowl his 9th, already has 145 in the bank. Stay behind the foul line, keep the ball in the lane both here in the 9th and 10th, and he should be set to go for our finals. Swishing 7-pin on lane 8. With the spare, Josiah has 154 in the 8th, spare up in the 9th frame. Again, he'll just need to stay behind the foul line, keep the ball in the lane here in the 10th frame, and he will secure victory in the semifinals. In advance to the title match, where he'll get to go against Caleb House, who was our top seed today in Scratch Division, who came in here with a qualifying score of -40 after our 5-game qualifying window. 192 average is pretty solid for Athens. That'll settle it for the Scratch Division. Josiah Youngblood will be moving on to face Caleb House in our title match. Barrett's going to finish with a score of 139. Ramon is going to need 6 pins here on the first ball. Strike there in the 9th frame. Positions him to only need 6 pins now on his first ball in the 10th to secure victory and advance to the title match, which will be against Paige Snyders, who is our qualifying leader for the handicap division with a score of +7. That is more than 6. Strike is always more than 6. Ramon Fultz will be moving on to our title match against Paige Snyders and on our handicap stepladder final. And Josiah Youngblood defeats Skylar DeClue in the scratch semifinals. We're going to take a short break and be back for our final match. is our stepladder final here for the Best Bowling Junior Classic Tournament at Brunswick Zone Lakeside. Again, that is Ramon Foltz over Barrett Nova in the handicap semifinals, and Josiah Youngblood over Skylar DeClue. We're back. The moment we've been building up to, the title match of the BestBowling.com youth tournament here at Brunswick Zone Lakeside, Saturday, November 4th, 2017. On lanes 5 and 6, we have our top seed, Caleb House, who qualified with a score of -40. And he's going against the winner of our semifinal match, Josiah Youngblood, who defeated Skylar DeClue 181 to 156 to get to this match. And on lane 70, we have our championship match for the handicap division. It is tournament leader Paige Snyders, who qualified with a score of +73. And we'll have a 5-pin handicap against Ramon Foltz, who won the semifinal match in the handicap division, 165 to 139 over Barrett Nava. And the handicap match, it is off with a lot of hard luck over there. Paige with the 7-10 split, and Ramon leading off with a 4-9. Our competitors today were bowling for junior gold spots and BestBowling.com gift cards. The winner of our handicap match will receive a $200 gift card to BestBowling.com, and the runner-up a $100 gift card. And for the scratch side, the winner will receive a $200 gift card, and the runner-up will receive a $140 gift card. And Ramon a little light there for his second frame, leaves the 2-pin. Josiah, just a bit outside the mark, has the fence to shoot at for his first frame. They're bowling on the 2012 World Bowling Tour Athens pattern today. Again, my name is Jeff Sanders, and here in the booth with me today I have our tournament director, Jordan Richard.
This is exciting. I like watching this.
It's our title match.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Start of the field of 29 bowlers today, correct?
Yes. I promise you that we will get to give out a new champion in a handicap division. Because neither one of them have won yet.
And we did 5 games qualifying earlier today.
Yeah,
this was the Athens pattern.
Athens medium pattern. It's kind of pretty tough on this kind of condition. It didn't really favor anybody, honestly. Not righties, lefties, nobody. It was flat, it was hard, it was tough. Spares was the main game. I think there was like a handful of people who were actually plus. There was a couple of games where I saw that only 1 or 2 people who shot 200. It was hard. It was hard. Something kind of cool. High game pot we gave out from the sponsors of $600. One of the bowlers now bowling on 6. Josiah actually won 2 and is bringing home $120 of scholarship money.
So that's in addition to the minimum $100 gift card he'll receive from BestBowling.com today.
140 actually.
140, that's correct. Scratch $140 gift card for second place in the scratch.
Yep, 140 for second, and then 200 for first. And then the handicap division is 100 for second, 200 for first.
And we also awarded 3 junior gold spots today.
Yep, we sure did. Top of my head, I can't remember. Ashley Westbrook was one of them. Ramon
For the U20 girls.
And Ramon was the other one. And then Kyle Felbab.
So Ramon took our U20 boys, Ashley for the U20 girls, and Kyle Felbab, who you saw earlier today in our stepladder action, took our U15 position today.
It's exciting because I don't know about Ashley, but I know Ramon and Kyle have yet to get the junior gold spots before. And now they're heading off to Arlington this year, so which is pretty cool.
I was just going to ask, do we know where junior gold's going to be at next year?
Arlington, it's in Dallas. So they're going to go check out USBC, go Texas. check out the runner-up World Series players, Texas Rangers, who lost to the Cardinals. Sorry, going on a rant. I know how much of a Pirate fan you are. Actually, Dallas Cowboys Stadium's down there. I went down there this past summer, and it was just a blast. I went down there. The training center's there. That was awesome.
International Training and Research Center is outside the USBC headquarters.
The cool thing is, too, I walked in there and they had all the players from like previous and now Team USA members. The friend of mine pointed at the female Jordan Richard, be like, "Oh, that's not you." Picking on me.
Everybody's got to take their shots when they get the chance, right?
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about our tournament leader, Caleb?
He's an animal. How old are you? 16. He's 16, and the caliber I want to ever get to, he has it at 16. He took 9th at junior gold. I mean,
That this past year in Cleveland.
yes. And he actually tied with one of the bowlers who showed up today. Fortunately, he didn't bowl as well as he wanted to, but he tied with Colin Walsh, who's actually sitting to your right at junior gold. But yeah, that's pretty incredible. Caleb's won probably everything in St. Louis. What haven't you won? That grin on his face says, "I won everything so
That
far."
about sums that up.
Yep.
And what can you tell us about our tournament leader from the handicap division, Paige Snyders?
She's actually fairly new to get to know. I don't really know her that well, but I know that she's very passionate about bowling. She's very passionate about doing a lot of like tournaments around town. I know. Posts one thing on Facebook, she sees it, she's going to end up bowling it if she gets the chance. Loves to learn the game, loves to ask questions, loves to know what can she do to improve herself and what she can do to help herself out, which is pretty cool.
So a definite student of the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She made her Stepladder at the St. Charles event a couple of months, not too long back, correct?
She did. I believe she ended up in 3rd or 4th place. That was her first one. So right now she's 2 for 2 on making Stepladder formats at our tournaments. Bucket there. Still trying to look for that jacket.
We had some great sponsors this time around, too.
Yes. Like I said, Mr. Stitcher is sponsoring with the jackets. Brunswick's own Lakeside is donating $500 scholarship money. We're going to have another additional $100 from my friend Patrick Murphy, who's with his business. Ebonite has donated a bowling ball toward us, so now we got to raffle that off.
And, of course, our title sponsor, BestBowling.com.
Yes. We were talking about how spares were going bad, but look at this.
Plenty of spare shooting going on in our scratch final here on 5 and 6. So, Jordan, what is your driving force and passion behind making sure junior bowling continues to grow and get this kind of effort in the St. Louis area?
Prime example, I mean, look at it this way. If you and I go bowl a tournament, we go spend 50, 60, 70, whatever X dollars, we can go win $1,000. Great, that's awesome for us. But we go spend $50 on a tournament with long formats and this, these kids are battling for $100, $150. My goal and my vision, the way I want to look at that is I want to change that. I want to give them an opportunity to win the $1,000, the $500, whatever, the big dollar tournaments. And it's cool that Junior Gold is offered a lot of scholarship money out there during that week of July. It's cool. There's so many tournaments, so many opportunities, but it's just a week and 2 weeks of bowling out of the whole year. That's why kids are moving up so early, because they don't want to sit here and wait a year just to bowl in those type of tournaments. So doing them now, yeah. You look at the handicap division, they had how many bowlers?
We had 11 bowlers.
11 bowlers in the battling for 200. You have bowlers who were in the scratch division. Top 4 of them all made $100. So why? Just imagine if we got 30 bowlers in their division from all over, and 10th got $100, 5th got $200. How much am I going to pay for first on a $35 entry? I mean,
excellent point. Again, we have to clarify too. Those of you that are listening, they're not bowling for actual dollars. It is BestBowling.com gift cards.
Yes.
Don't want anybody getting in trouble thinking these kids are getting paid cash.
No. It's a gift card to Best Bowling. You got scholarship opportunities. You got other. I just want to do things differently. I want to. Obviously, I hear over and over and over again where I see so many people doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm afraid to make that change. Well,
Well, you make a
I'll
great
try.
point about there not being enough stuff for the juniors to bowl. I can tell you for sure I moved up earlier than I probably should have to the adult ranks just because there was nothing to bowl. Where I'm from, there was something for the adults to bowl every weekend. The kids, we had something once per season. And by season, I'm talking, of course, your spring, fall, summer. You know, so I mean, if I found a handful of tournaments for the year, I was fortunate as a junior bowler. So,
And the entry is low. I mean, you got $35. Look at this. Just saw Youngblood's on lane 5. He paid $35, drove 2 hours to come out here. And he's looking at it, yes, as even adults, they look at it as a business and look at it as money and how much can I get back. So look at it this way. Josiah paid $35. He did not go for junior gold. He paid $35 for, and with the sponsors we got, he won 2 high game pots. That's $120. And now he's bowling for $200. So if he wins, he's gonna make $320 on a $35 entry fee. He did amazing on his profit, and it's awesome. Same thing with Caleb. Even if he takes first, he got a $35. He got a $135 entry, $140 for second place. I know Ramon took a high game, Colin took a high game, and even though he's not, he had to split it with somebody, but still he got his money back for a high game. It's just stuff like that I want to add to it.
now we're starting to head into our final half home stretch here of our championship match. Let's take a look at the scores, see what we're working with here. On 5 and 6 in the scratch match. We've got Josiah Youngblood presently sitting on a 23-pin lead. And in our handicap final on lanes 7 and 8, we have Paige Snyder's going against Ramon. And the handicap spread on that is Paige is getting 5 pins in that game. Paige currently pacing out with a score of 101 in the 7th, plus her 5 gets her to 106. So she has an 8-pin lead in her match over there as we're heading for the 8th frame. Josiah with the Shaker Brooklyn strike, he's got to walk that one off. He steps out of the camera frame for a second.
I hate to admit it, but that's the second one on that lane.
And Ramon with a Shaker 7 on lane 8.
Much better shot.
Much better shot there on lane 5. Little high though, leaves a 6-pin. Ramon lining up for the spare. And he picks it up. And with the spare, Josiah now has a score of 1 in the 7th. Caleb working on a double, getting up here on lane 6. Chance to turn that into a turkey and lessen the lead to 13. Paige with the hard luck 4-9 on lane 7. Been a battle of bad carry over there on 7 and 8. We saw Paige with a 7-10 earlier. We saw Paige now at 4-9. Ramon had a 4-9 earlier. Throwing the ball pretty good around the pocket, just not catching the breaks anymore. Caleb goes high, leaves a 6-pin. And currently finds himself trailing by 24 as we're going to be heading to the 9th frame. Caleb lining up for the spare. Makes a 6-pin. Again, he trails by 24 as he heads for his 9th frame on lane 5. Paige crosses over. Going to have a 10-pin to shoot over there on lane 8.
Sorry about that. Had a couple questions being asked.
Well, as co-broadcaster and tournament director, you will get pulled away from the camera from time to time.
Oh, more than I ever even imagined. But it's okay. Fastball outside. Oh.
Reigning 10 pin on lane 5 for Caleb as he now finds himself trailing by 25 with that lead. He's going to need some help now. He's got to make the spare. He's going to need a lot of help from Josiah now to have a shot at this match still. Ramon goes spare strike for his 8th and 9th frame. And we'll be getting up to bowl the 10th here on lane 8. He holds a 5-pin lead, and with that strike, positions himself now with 2 strikes here in the 10th. He will secure victory in this match. And a reigning 10 pin. What happened to the carry?
I don't know, ask Caleb. About the carry. Oh, yeah. That's great.
And Josiah with a 7 pin on lane 6. And Ramon makes a 10 pin, cleans up the single pin spare.
158 left, scratch-wise.
Oh, he missed very badly to the right of his target. Sails off into the out of bounds. He hits the 10 clean. He's got a score of 149 up there. And wow, does that change the dynamic of the match. Paige was originally looking at needing a double and fill to have a shot at winning the game. Now finds herself just needing the first hit. 7 down. Puts her at 125. She will need to make this spare and strike to win the match by 1 pin. Spare and a strike to win by 1. Little light, crumbles out the bucket, leaves just the 3-6.
Needs the spare. Needs the spare. Pull it a little bit.
And that's going to have Paige finish with a score of 133 with her handicap. That gets her to 138. Ramon is our handicap champion, 149 to 138. And that's enough. Josiah, even though he chops a 3-6, finishes at 214. Caleb, even if he strikes out, can only finish at 213. Excellent bowling by our scratch combatants. Congratulations to Josiah Youngblood on winning the scratch division. Josiah, you have anything you want to say to the people out there watching? Thanks for the thumbs up. That sounds good. And again, that's Josiah Youngblood, the victor of our scratch division today with a 214 as Caleb finishes out. Of course, now they're all going to start bowling for him, but he can only finish at 213. Again, this was the BestBowling.com youth tournament at Brunswick Zone Lakeside. Thank you again to our great sponsors, BestBowling.com, Mr. Stitcher, Brunswick Zone, Ebonite International, and Patrick Finishes. This is Jeff Sanders again, signing off for Jordan Richard, our tournament director as well.
See ya. Thanks for coming out, by the way. I'm going to cut them off real quick. Next one is a doubles event at Sunset Lanes, December 9th. Like I said, doubles event. It's a over-under 190. Scratch bowlers who are averaging over 190 must find a bowler who is averaging 189 or below. So we will offer gift cards, we will offer junior gold, everything like that. There might be a little something special out there, so I'll see you again.
Stay tuned for additional information from Jordan Richard on our next event. This has been a Pro Pattern Experience Productions presentation. As we're finishing up, again, we have Ramon as our champion of the handicap division and Josiah Youngblood, champion of our scratch division. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.